Oh boy, buckle up because we're diving into a movie that's as cheerfully upbeat as a visit to the DMV. Welcome to the world's most fun-filled all-girls hostel, where Vivian and Sophia, two besties, dream about the wild and crazy future of, wait for it, being adopted. Yep, talk about setting the bar high for life goals. The hostel is like a boot camp run by the world's least fun people. These gals have a bedtime routine that would make Cinderella's curfew look like an all-night rave. The moment the blue lights flicker on, it's snooze time. No questions asked. And in the morning, it's a lineup at the basin. Each girl armed with her trusty face cream and towel. It's like a beauty pageant with none of the beauty or pageantry. Here's where it gets hilariously draconian. They wash their faces in front of a camera because, face washing is such a high-stakes operation. Sloppiness in this high art could land you in major trouble. One day, it's Vivian's turn, but drama ensues. Sophia, in a plot twist as shocking as finding out water is wet, drops her face cream. With her bad eyesight, she's as lost as a GPS with no signal. Heroic Vivian dashes to the rescue. But alas, she's late for her own face wash fiesta. Cue the alarms and enter two guards who drag Vivian away, despite her protests of being as clean as a whistle. Cut to the setting of this laugh-a-minute riot, an isolated windowless boarding school where sunshine is just a myth. These girls have been there since they were knee-high to a grasshopper, climbing the levels like it's the world's dullest video game. The grand prize? Reaching level 16 and getting adopted. Woohoo! In this jolly establishment, clean and proper is the name of the game. They're schooled in the riveting subjects of health, home skills, and how not to be curious or angry. Because, as everyone knows, those are the top qualities of a robot. Girl. But reading and writing? Psh, who needs that? Fast forward a few years, and we find Vivian and Sophia at the grand level 16. But surprise, Vivian isn't exactly throwing a welcome party for Sophia. Still miffed about the face cream fiasco of yesteryears. Vivian's now the queen bee, following rules like they're going out of style. On their first day at level 16, the girls pick beds and pop vitamins like they're candy. It's a routine that makes Groundhog Day look like a roller coaster of surprises. Sophia, in a moment of cloak and dagger drama, pulls Vivian aside in the bathroom to share a secret. But Vivian's having none of it. Enter Miss Brixill, their supervisor, who's as delightful as a surprise quiz on a Monday morning. She brings in dresses with their names embroidered on them, because nothing says individuality like a standardized uniform, right? Next day, as the girls do chores, Sophia does a sneaky chore swap to be with Vivian and drops a bombshell. Just pretend to take the vitamins. Vivian's skeptical, but decides to give the vitamins a miss for a day. It's another typical night at the world's most boring sleepover, except plot twist. Vivian and Sophia are the only ones not in dreamland. Turns out the vitamins they've been popping like candy are actually sleeping pills. Big surprise, the establishment has been playing pharmacist since day one. As they're whispering like they're in some spy movie, footsteps approach. Panic mode. They fake sleep like they're auditioning for Sleeping Beauty. Enter Miss Brixill and her merry band of guards. It's like a scene from a shopping channel, only with girls instead of kitchen gadgets. Brixill starts her sales pitch to an old couple, showcasing Vivian and Olivia as if they're the latest models of vacuum cleaners. The couple, in a move as predictable as rain in England, picks Olivia. They're shopping for a daughter like it's Black Friday. Vivian's mind is blown. They're not getting adopted. They're being auctioned off to the highest bidder. Back in the room, Vivian's finally on board with Sophia's conspiracy theories. Sophia, the Nancy Drew of the group, reveals she's been awake since level 13, uncovering the hostel's secrets while everyone else is in La La Land. The plot thickens as she spills the beans about the nightly showcase of girls to clients. And then, in a twist no one asked for, Sophia shares the creepiest tidbit. During the black hour, when everyone's supposed to be asleep, a guard takes a stroll through the rooms for some very not okay reasons. Cue Miss Brixill's dramatic entrance, part 2. This time she picks Sophia and another girl for what's probably not a fun night out. Meanwhile, Vivian discovers the doors are unlocked. She's under the surveillance camera's watchful eye, but no alarms go off. It's like they forgot to pay their security bill. Cut to the next day, and it's time for their monthly rendezvous with Dr. Miro at his clinic. He's doling out injections like Mr. Beast, giving away $10,000, but with less enthusiasm and more mystery chemicals. Dr. Miro, trying to be Mr. Congeniality, name drops Vivian Lee and compliments Vivian's smile. It's like he's auditioning for the role of creepy uncle. Later, it's movie night. And guess what's on the menu? The same movie they've watched for years. It's like Groundhog Day, but with less Bill Murray and more boredom. After the world's most uneventful movie night, Vivian and Sophia, now amateur escape planners, discuss how to break out of Alcatraz Jr. They need a keycard, and Sophia's bright idea is to snag it from the nighttime creeper guard. Vivian, being the voice of reason, thinks Dr. Miro, their new BFF, might be a better bet. The next day, Vivian hits up Dr. Miro's clinic uninvited, spinning a story about wanting to know what Vivian Lee looks like. Dr. Miro eats it up and promises to look into it, because apparently, he's also part-time librarian. Meanwhile, back at the world's most depressing board game session, one of the girls suddenly goes full exorcist, seizing and vomiting. Sophia jumps into action like she's on Grey's Anatomy. Ava, ever the helpful one, suggests calling the guards, blaming it on Dr. Miro's mystery shots. At night, it's entertainment time, and the girls are treated to a special screening of Vivian Lee, courtesy of Dr. Miro, the secret cinephile. Vivian, our protagonist, is all, "Thanks, Doc, for the movie." But the good doctor, suddenly feeling like Sherlock Holmes, suspects she's been skipping her daily dose of vitamin ZZZ. So, in a move that screams trustworthy healthcare, Dr. Miro gives Vivian a shot that's basically a one-way ticket to La La Land. Vivian spends her day in a daze, slurring words and sporting a hairstyle that screams, "I've given up." Ava, ever the tattletale, sees this and runs to Ms. Brixel faster than a kid chasing an ice cream truck, claiming Vivian's unclean. Cue Ms. Brixel, the hostel's version of a wicked stepmother, dragging Vivian off to a tiny cell for some quality reflection time. Meanwhile, back at the villain's lair, Brixel and Dr. Miro are having a cozy little date night, complete with alcohol and evil scheming. It's like Bonnie and Clyde, but with less bank robbing and more child trafficking. Plot twist: they work for a boss who's probably as cuddly as a cactus. Dr. Miro, in a stroke of genius, suggests they restock on teenagers instead of infants. Brixel, suddenly growing a conscience, isn't thrilled. It's like watching a debate on the ethics of robbing candy stores. Now back to Vivian, who's doing her best impression of a sad puppy in her cell. Meanwhile, Sophia, the MacGyver of the group, is fashioning a rope out of bedsheets because it's DIY escape time. Just as she's about to play superhero, the nightly creeper guard shows up. But surprise, Sophia goes full ninja mode and chokes him with her makeshift rope. In a scene straight out of an action movie, Sophia races to free Vivian, only to get attacked by the guard. After a tussle that probably left her wishing she'd just stayed in bed, she knocks him out with an iron. Nothing says goodnight like a whack with household appliances. With the keycard in hand but alarms blaring, Sophia dashes back, leaving Vivian crying like she just watched the end of Titanic. Enter the dynamic duo of Brixel and Dr. Miro, telling the girls that Sophia's a traitor and asking for the keycard. Spoiler: Sophia hid it before getting caught. Dr. Miro, now in full villain mode, threatens to punish the girls one by one. First up, poor Rita, who's as clueless as a deer in headlights. Meanwhile, Vivian's still in the dark about Sophia's whereabouts. Brixel, now doubling down on her vitamin tyranny, personally feeds the girls their nightly knockout drops. But Vivian, in a move that screams desperate times, stabs herself with a hair clip to stay awake. After playing detective in her own room, Vivian discovers the keycard hidden in her own bed's headboard. Sophia, in a moment of BFF brilliance, had left it there for her escape. She tries to use the card, but it doesn't work. But, hey, who needs a key when you've got a hairpin? In a move that would make MacGyver proud, she dismantles the door like it's made of Legos. Once she's out, it's off to Dr. Miro's cabin, because where else would you go after a daring escape? Surprise! Brixel's there, and she's got a sedative, because apparently, that's how they solve all problems in this place. But Vivian's having none of it. She turns the tables and injects Brixel instead. Take that, villainy! Vivian grills Brixel about Sophia's location but gets nothing. So, like any good action hero, she heads to the basement because that's always where the good stuff happens. There, in a scene straight out of a horror movie, she finds Sophia zip-tied in a cell. It's like a party down there, minus the fun and cake. The girls stumble upon a surgical room, because of course there's a surgical room. They find scissors, handy, and free Sophia from her zip-tie dilemma. But wait, there's more. They discover Rita, their pal, who's had an extreme makeover gone wrong. Turns out she's been chosen by a client for a face swap. Yikes. Sophia's all, let's warn the others. But Vivian's like, nope, I'm outta here. So, They split up. Sophia turns into a one-woman rescue squad, while Vivian chills and waits. But oh no, a guard's coming. Vivian does her best hide-and-seek impression and ducks into a room with a TV. Now get this. A video starts playing. Dr. Miro's on screen pitching his youth-regaining face-planting procedure. Yep, it's as crazy as it sounds. These girls have been sun-free organic skincare products for rich people. Talk about a messed-up business model. I am pretty sure Kevin O'Leary would invest in this business. Meanwhile, Sophia's trying to convince the other girls that this isn't just a really bad dream. They're about as receptive as a brick wall. But then Vivian shows up with Brixil, who's high as a kite from the sedative. Vivian drops the bombshell about Rita's new look and Brixil's borrowed face. Finally, the girls are like, okay, maybe something's up. In a twist of poetic justice, they lock Brixil in the cell and make a break for it. But of course, the guards show up. Most of the girls scatter like ants, but Sophia gets cornered. She's injured, but in a moment of girl power, they push the guard off the building. Bye-bye, bad guy. Vivian and Sophia, now in an abandoned house, have a little heart-to-heart with Dr. Miro outside, who's doing his best, come out, wherever you are. Vivian, in a not-so-bright moment, decides to give herself a quick face makeover with a knife. Message received. She's off the market. Then, plot twist. The guards get a call from their boss, who's like, Dr. Miro, you're fired. But in this business, being fired means being dead. Meanwhile, Vivian and Sophia spend a cozy night in their makeshift hideout. As the sun rises, like a scene from a cop show, 2 police officers rescue them. The movie ends with Vivian and Sophia stepping outside, experiencing rain for the first time. Sophia probably whispers, "Is this a free spa treatment? Or are we just extras in a budget music video?"